Hey everyone, it's Jess on Plus One, and I'm so excited for today's guest. We have Enrique Melendez joining us. He's a celebrity stylist. He styled Jenna Ortega, Julia Butters, the Black Eyed Peas. It's also where you began, right?
That's where I began. That was. Oh, you took it back.
We threw it way back for a second.
That was a while ago, like over a decade ago, maybe. Well, not a decade ago. Actually, no,
it had to have been, right? Because you started with Jenna in 2016.
Yeah, it did. Wow, it's so crazy. Yikes.
When did you start in the business first?
Okay, well, I started working in 2008, but that's like, I think I got my first like real paycheck in 2010.
Wow.
You do your work, you do your like free interning and assisting, and but I think around 2010 is when I think I was like, oh my God, I can get paid for this, you know?
Isn't that trippy to think about, though?
Yeah.
It's like everyone in any part of Hollywood or sports, just entertainment in general, like you have these really big dreams.
Yeah.
But when you connect the dots and realize that you can actually make money off of it for the first time, you're like,
it's truly a blessing.
I
never take it for granted. I'm always super grateful because I have no complaints. Even on the hard days, it's like, at least I'm not going into, like, I worked in traditional, setting, 9 to 5 or 10 to 7 or 12 to 9:30 or whatever. Like, I worked that, and it was great because it taught me a lot about dealing with people, but it wasn't my passion, you know? So
what'd you do beforehand?
Well, before I worked in styling, I actually worked at a cell phone store, Verizon.
Nice.
Yeah, for 6-7 years. And actually, I was going to continue working there while I was interning, but I got let go during the recession, and it was my kickstart to kind of follow my passion. So
it's trippy how that happens sometimes or needs to happen.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of that with the pandemic. I feel like we saw a boom with people during that time where it's like you thought it was going to be, I don't know about you, but with other people, maybe they thought it was going to be like the end. And then it ended up just being like the start of
the beginning. Yeah. I know. It's crazy. And things happen for a reason. And I've always kind of, anything negative that has happened, I've always tried to see the other side of it.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, this is placing me where I'm supposed to be. Because I'm supposed to have something greater or something that's meant for me. So, no complaints.
Yeah.
Even though I was depressed that day I got let go. But
I get it.
Actually, I wasn't depressed. I was like, okay. Actually, no, I'm lying. I actually was good. I remember looking up at the sky. Like, I was going to call out sick that day.
What?
I was going to call out sick that day, and I was like, I don't want to go to work. And I was just, like, praying, like, I can't do this anymore. And then, like, the clouds, I swear this sounds so crazy, but the clouds opened up and the sun came out, and I was like, you know what? I can't call out sick. I got to go to work. That was a sign from God. I'm supposed to go to work. But that was the day I got let go.
That's insane, actually.
No, I'm not even joking. Like, I tell that story.
Beat you to the punch.
Yeah. And I was like, I kind of laughed when they let me go. I laughed. He was like, why do you think this is funny? I just was like, I think I'm kind of excited,
That's crazy.
For the unknown,
From getting let go to dressing so many of these incredible stars. And it's just like so many people that I personally look up to. I know so many other people look up to them. I'm just looking at all of these photos of Jenna that you've dressed. We'll get into those in a little bit. But we were also just talking about the fact that I messaged Enrique around this time last year in September because I worked with Netflix. So I flew out to Ireland to cover Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Which was really cool. And I was like, Enrique, if you happen to be around.
Yes.
How do you feel about the fact that you get to travel for your job?
It's a blessing. Like, I'm able to do things that a lot of people have to save up for,
truly,
a very long time to do it. And I'm able to, do it in my line of work. I know a lot of the times that we don't get to see everything. I had been to Paris like 6 or 7 times before I had actually been to the Eiffel Tower, because you land and you go straight to work, and and it's like, it's not always like, fun and games, but again, you get to experience different cultures, and even if I'm not able to see all of the sites, you get point of view and perspective of the world that you can't view on the news or whatnot. You really get to feel what the people there are feeling and thinking.
Dive into their culture a little bit. Yeah. You're originally from LA, right?
Yes. I was born in the Hollywood area, but then I moved to San Diego when I was like 9 or 10.
Okay, similar.
Yeah, really.
I was born in Long Beach, and then I moved to Temecula. So like, you're just a little more proper, like Hollywood and San Diego.
Yeah, and so no offense, but San Diego wasn't for me.
I feel the same way. It's too slow.
No, it didn't feel like it supported the creative mind that I had. I felt like always out of place. Yeah. As soon as I turned 18, actually I hadn't even turned 18 yet. I graduated high school and I came back to LA. I'd begged my mom between the ages of 10 and 18 that I wanted to come back to LA. She would think about it, and then she'd be like, no, we're going to stay here in San Diego, and finish school. But I jetted out of there as soon as I could.
See you later,
and
Mom.
It was the best decision for me to figure out life on my own,
It's
from
so
LA.
hard when you feel like you're meant to be somewhere and to not physically be there. It just like stunts your growth in so many ways, So it's huge. The fact that you were able to make that move really early on too.
Yeah.
Basically as soon as you could.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that's, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And my friends are like, you're not going to move to LA. And then July, because you graduate in June. July 14th, I was in my new apartment on First in Fairfax.
Oh my
Before
God.
the Grove even was like there yet, really.
Wait, that's a poppin' area to go at first.
Yeah. So I was lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're born and raised in LA, you're a Latino man, it is Hispanic Heritage Month. In what ways do you feel like your ethnicity and where you grew up has influenced your style?
In so many ways, actually. I mean, if one was to say that didn't have an effect or a influence, would be a lie. There's no way. Sure. There's no way. So I grew up thinking I was like, so my father is like actually black and Puerto Rican, and my mom's Mexican. So I grew up thinking I was just Puerto Rican, because you have a Puerto Rican father. Like, I mean, his father is Puerto Rican. So it was really all about that, Puerto Rican pride is like something it's just like, it's like, so I didn't really know I was anything else. And, growing up in California, no one knew what Puerto Rican was, because it's such an East Coast situation thing.
It's very like Mexican heavy out here.
Until Jennifer Lopez kind of came on the scene. Everyone was like, oh, this is what Puerto Rican is. Ricky Martin, and he became huge like in the late 90s, in America at least. And then it was cool, But it was always a huge part of me. Like, taking pride in your appearance, I think, is a huge thing that the Latino culture, I think across the board, is really important. Like, don't go outside looking crazy. You're a representation of me. You're a representation of our family. Do not like. So I think dressing up and keeping my appearance up, and how my clothes needed to be, obviously clean, but also I needed to have a pleasant appearance. So I think that's one major thing, because I always was really into, like my grandmother's on, both sides, really into, fashion. Actually, my grandfather's too, actually.
That's really cool.
And that all passes around down to your, your parents, my mom, my mother and father. So I think fashion culturally has always been something that's kind of been in my DNA. Because I look back at pictures, I'm like, you guys were dressed. Like, I'm like, I didn't even realize, like,
stunning on
and like people like when I show pictures to, to some people. They're like, wait, you guys were rich. I'm like, no, my family wasn't rich, ever. Very, very, I think we really had class and taste. And I learned that at an early age, that it's super important to respect your family by being presentable at all times.
No, so true.
Your hair needs to be
side,
combed,
put together.
lotion. Yes.
Yeah, lotion.
My dad would be like, "What are you doing? You're running around here. You look like you've been kicking chalk." If I didn't have lotion on, I'm like, oh, and I was not like other kids were able to run outside with, out shoes and socks. He did not play that.
It's so funny how much it affects you. It's my dad, I don't look Mexican, my dad does. But my grandma on his side would always see me when I'd come over without makeup on, and she'd be like, "Ay, mija, don't you want to get ready?" And I'm like,
"Is that what you're gonna wear? Is that what you're looking like?" Okay. Okay.
And I'm like, okay. She doesn't even want to say hi to me first.
Right.
She get right into it.
You need to get it together. You need to pick it up and look like you look like you care. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And our generation is like, this is actually nice. We're in, like, no.
We could be a little more casual. But
a little casual.
It doesn't work with them.
Doesn't work.
That doesn't make them very happy.
No, it does not. Yeah.
It's actually hilarious to think about when you just like sat and put that into words. I'm sitting here thinking about, oh my God, you're so right.
So right. And so that's kind of where it began. And I think when you do things kind of like naturally, because that's just kind of how it's always
ingrained
in you. So I think I always needed to make sure that I was on point. But then again, like with, families, we watched a lot of movies. Like they were like really into, a lot of the, everything cinema. So that's where I really fell in love with wardrobe and costumes and, that whole thing. So
Is that important for you at all to work with other Latinos in the industry?
Absolutely. I think there's no reason why you shouldn't, There's so many opportunities are, easily handed to other ethnicities in the industry. And in my particular industry, I feel like there's like kind of like a gatekeeping on a lot of those things. And I think it's important to uplift and show, put a spotlight on other talented people that don't get that opportunity straight out of the bat, Like some people have, come from families with money and, have connections in different ways. And I feel like that we don't always get that. We don't. So the only people that are going to give it to us is us. So I feel like it's important that we pass the baton, shine the light, whatever we need to do on other talent. In specific, I'm speaking about, in fashion and entertainment, I guess. So I think it's important to give back.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate and blessed again to be in this position and to be working with the wonderful people that I have been fortunate to be working with. I always want to give back, and I never would want to take an opportunity away from someone else. There's so many opportunities. It's like,
I feel like I would only imagine that would be very present in fashion, where people are like very shielded. They don't necessarily want to talk to people they don't know.
Yeah.
Very gatekeepy, like you said.
Especially when you're having clients of color, like you get in this place where you want to give them a platform to where everything is elevated, and so you want to always attain to get these big name brands,
Yeah.
Like, oh, we need to get the Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Valentino's, which I think that's very important to mix in. But I think there are so many designers out there that are talented, and they deserve, they deserve some shine too. And when you get to a point to where you have a talent that is able to pull off, all kinds of different looks, throw some of those Puerto Rican, throw some of those Mexican designers in there, throw some of those Venezuelan designers in there, and so many other, you know, throw some of those in there, and like, if it's good, it's good, you know. Like, absolutely. I'm not saying like I'm like, oh, you just need to put this designer from Guadalajara in there. Like, no, like there's talent in every city. Like, you don't have to do it just because they're Mexican or just because, but there is talent out there that will match.
For sure, yeah. It's worth it to look beyond like the big brand names all the time. Of course, you're going to include them. Yeah. But like,
it's important. It's all part of the political game of fashion and entertainment. But if it makes sense, it makes sense. And if it's a great design and the aesthetic works, do it. You know, use use your platform. Or I try to use my platform, and I think more people should do that.
I love it
if they can.
Yeah, I think you do a great job with raising others up with you as you also rise.
Yeah, I never want to not do that. Yeah, I think if we're not doing that, you know, what do we have to look forward to, I guess? Because
no, so true.
You know, and again, like a lot of these designers and talent, like, and younger talent, they're going to be the next creative directors of the Gucci's and the Dior's, you know what I mean? Though if they get the opportunity to. So you're building a relationship with them at the beginning of their career. So if you were looking at it from that perspective as well, like, you know.
Who raised you up when, not necessarily like your parents, grandparents, or any of that, but I mean in the industry, who did that for you?
A couple people. Like one of my friends, and he is one of my best friends, and he passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah, his name is AJ Crimson. He was a beauty guru. He was a makeup artist, and then went into this whole. He started, you know, creating his makeup line, AJ Crimson Beauty, for women of color of all different shades. So he wanted to be a very inclusive thing, and he was doing it like he's been working on it before like it became a thing, you know, like, and I always looked up to him, that he was so innovative and he cared about giving back, you know, to his culture, and he wanted to see women see themselves in the beauty market, not just having to take what was available, you know. And he actually was like, when I met him for the first time, he's like, so what do you want to do? I was like, oh, I'm about to go into real estate school. And he's like, is that what you're passionate about? And I was like, no. He's like, you seem like a stylish guy. Like you should go into fashion or something. You should be a stylist. And I'm like, a stylist? Like, what is that? And he
wow, he's
told me that he's the one that said, and then he connected me with people, and then I ended up working with the Black Eyed Peas, and will.i.am said, hey, you should come on tour with us, and that he gave me, you know, so many opportunities. I traveled the world. I learned so much about, you know, different brands and all of that. So again, him, and he's from LA. Will. Oh, wow. Shout out will.i.am. He's from LA as well, and you know, like, he just, you know, he gave me an opportunity to tour and learn that whole world. Like, I'd never really had a big time gig like that before, you know. So, and it went from him, and then I was working with him, and then I went into like Bruno Mars, and then Jason Derulo, and I started meeting all these people on tour, and these people were becoming my clients, and I was like, what is happening right now?
That's insane.
Yeah, and that's when they were the beginning of like what they were becoming too. So I was like,
exactly.
You know, and it was just crazy to be with, you know, these talented individuals and trying to figure it out, and I was like still figuring it out myself too.
Right. I can only imagine what that's like.
It was kind of scary.
For you.
Actually, very.
Exactly. I can only imagine what that's like for you, because you don't have a full understanding of what you're going to do in the industry.
Yeah.
And then you start to break in, and your family's probably like, oh my God,
yeah,
you're really doing this.
Yeah.
Like this probably came out of nowhere for them, right?
Yeah, my mom was like, "Oh, I lost my job." I was like, "I just lost my job." She's like, "Oh, you need to go to the unemployment line right now, like please." And she kept begging me to go. I was like, "No, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do next.
Yeah.
Please don't worry." She's like, "No, you need to go." I went to the post office and I applied for a passport. That's what I did, and I was like, "I'm gonna be traveling, whatever it is." And I literally 2 months later, I was on a flight to Paris. Yeah.
That's
because
insane.
And I'm not even kidding, like instead of stressing about the job, I mean, they did give me a severance package, no lie, but still like I was like, I'm going to not go to the unemployment line because that's not going to be my story. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to figure it out, and it's going to push me to figure out what I need to do to continue achieving my dream,
Yeah, classic. You're a Leo, right?
Such a Leo.
You stuck to
Yeah.
it. Okay,
I'm telling you, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yes,
I'm going to do it.
I love that, though.
Like,
and
without
now
a lot.
look at you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're becoming a leading force as far as celebrity stylists go, and then especially in the youth fashion space, starting with Jenna Ortega and Julia Butters when they were super young. That's just one of many celebrities that you've worked with. How did you first begin working with them at such a young age?
Well, it's crazy. I got to a point in the music industry where I was like, I don't like this anymore. Like,
interesting. What parts didn't you like about it?
I think it was at a point to where like the music industry was a little confused. They were like, how do we monetize with streaming coming
Still
along?
Are.
With streaming and all of these different things. So it was like, transparently, like budgets were being cut and things weren't just, and I feel like sometimes the music industry is a little more cutthroat and a little sneaky.
Yeah.
For my taste, I like to have a great type of working environment, and I like to work with people that, have my back and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like the music industry wasn't like that. There's so many hands in the one pot, and it's like, people, they make it seem like they have your back, and they don't. They have their back, and that's fine. But you can have that. I don't want any parts of that. Because I think when you start arguing over money, it's just an ugly world.
Yeah, it leaves a nasty taste in your mouth.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do this, and this is something I love to do, and it's making me not.
Mm-hmm. It's giving you the ick.
It's giving me the ick, and I'm an independent contractor. I own my own business. I don't have to do with this. Mm-hmm. So I took a break. I think I went into a little, like, depression mode, as I like to say.
You.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, and I was just trying to figure it out. I think about a year and a half, 2 years, a publicist hit me up, and she was like, she hit me up actually for like a spec shoot. A spec shoot is like a series of photos that an actor needs. Like, they'll set up a photo shoot and they just need different outfits.
Got it.
She's like, oh my God, I love what you did with this one guy. And I was like, oh, cool. Again, it was my first time working like in that world. Mm-hmm. But I did it. He went about his day. I went about mine. We never really were, it wasn't a client that became my client. But she's like, I have someone for you that I think you should work with. She's on this Disney show. And I was like, all right, cool. And she sent me her Instagram, and I went and looked at it, and I was like, wait, this is a kid. Like, I thought it was going to be like someone older on a Disney show. Like, I didn't know. I was thinking, like, I've never worked in Hollywood and with actors, but let alone how I'm gonna style a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
But I like scrolled through her Instagram, and I like watched some of her things, and I'm like, this girl is really intriguing, And it was Jenna Ortega, and I was like, I'm really interested in figuring out how to do this, because I'm like, A, first actor, B, a child, and I'm like, it intrigued me to be able to figure it out. Like, so my music experience
Got it.
in styling is, you know, just sometimes these artists will throw you a freaking idea and you have to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I think, and that would be the kind of like the high of it, like, oh, like the excitement of it, like, okay, I can figure this, I can figure out this creative journey, trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, Will I Am gave us, he wanted to dance with iPads. His dancers have iPads on their faces and stuff like that. So I'd have to figure out, like, how are these dancers going to move with the iPad on their face? And, like, you know, things like crazy things like that. So I'm like, if I can do that, I can figure out how to style a 14-year-old.
I can style Jenna for a press junket.
Yes. And she was going to the Latina Magazine Awards. That was the first thing that we did, and it was in October. And that was like 2016 now. Yeah. So that was the first. She was 14. And it was Valentino had a teen line, like a mid-line at that time called Red Valentino. And I reached out to Katie over there, and I was like, hey, I have this actor. I think she's going to be really big. And I created this whole blurb that I really believed. Yeah. And she's like, approved. We can send you some options. And she sent me the options, and we ended up wearing them on, I think it was the 20th anniversary of the Latina Magazine Awards.
That's so cool.
And so it kind of locked us in.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess the thing where my brain first goes is like working with a kid, specifically actors. I know that there's a lot of added stressors. Like they have to clock a certain amount of hours in the classroom when they're on set and that sort of thing. But then when it comes to you working with them, I imagine their parents have to be present.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like obviously not even referring to Jenna at this point. You've worked with so many other kids at this point in your career. Do you notice that being an added stressor, whether it's parents or anything else? Like you can't be too revealing if it's a kid. You know, it's very different.
I'm naturally very protective of children. I think children are very, it sounds corny to say, but they literally are our future. So we have to make sure that we nurture them and make sure that they are safe. So that's not a really difficult thing. Like I think I'm actually probably more protective. Like, hey, mom, is this too reveal? Is there like it can be this much of a midriff or whatnot? I'm like, is that okay? Like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's like you know, like it's okay. Yeah, do it. You can come up, or is the skirt too short, or whatever the case is. Like I'm super already honed in, and what I would want my kids to, what I would be okay with my kids doing. So it's like, and add an additional, layer of protection because they're under a magnifying glass. You know, you have all of these. Like I went to elementary and high school, and I experimented on what I wanted to wear, and that was already difficult. Like imagine doing it in front of millions and millions of people. Yeah,
and I can imagine they're scared to say no certain times. Whether it's you or their makeup artist or whoever. They're just like, yeah, sure.
So I'm good at reading energy too. So if there's some type of like hesitation, I'm like, oh no, we're not doing that. And that's how I was with Jenna, and I it's still to this day. If there's any hesitation, even with my adult clients, if there's any hesitation, I'm reading energy. I'm like, we're not doing this because it's just sense it. But
and you don't want them to look at you a certain way. You want it to be a healthy relationship.
Absolutely, because I've seen I've heard and seen people are like, you need to wear this. It's off the runways in Paris and da 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 da. And you're like, but does it speak to you?
Right.
I get it, but I'm like, if you're not feeling it, let's move on. Yeah, and I think with kids or youth clients, I think we need to listen. I've made sure that I've always listened and nurtured that first.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are politics and fashion. Like, hey, this brand is dressing you, so maybe we should do this one. But I support you 1,000,000% if we want to do something that you want to do. So it becomes stressful on my side because finding options that are going to be
like check all boxes.
Check all boxes. Is going to be fashion forward, elevating. Is it going to be age appropriate? Like those types of things. I'm not taking on that many youthful clients anymore just because it does take a lot of extra time that
you're full time at this
point. And I have
really...
them and the ones that I have, they're growing up now. They're like 17, going to be 18 soon, and it's like I'm good, you know. With that, and it's been a beautiful journey to watch these, you know, these clients blossom into who they're becoming, and being able to say that I've supported it in some way. I'm not the reason why they're blossoming, but I'm happy that I was, you know, able to assist and do that, and you know, like. It's hard. It's hard. These people's comments and craziness, like evil. It's like, and these people, they're still people, and also they're children. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like 15, 16, 17, 18, and even adults. I'm like, we forget that these people that you're talking about can actually read what you're saying.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's crazy.
I've seen a lot of the videos of you two together, just because I mean you've been working together for, I guess that would be almost 10 years.
It'll be 10 years next year. Yeah.
It's so trippy.
That's freaking crazy. And it's gone by so quickly.
Yeah. It seems very much like Big Brother vibes coming from your
all
end.
Day. Like, do not play. Like, there's nothing you can do, offer me to like take that away from her or any of my clients. Like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
You know, because again, I looked at them as humans, beautiful humans, and that as much as they choose to work with me, I'm choosing to work with them, and it becomes kind of like a family situation.
Yeah.
You know.
At what point did you notice that shift between you, or with you two, where you felt like a brother and sister duo, and you felt her fashion stepping up probably because of that?
I think it's when she became an adult, you know, like I
that
think,
makes sense.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think that's just what it was. Like, I think we were always close and I was always super protective, but I feel like when I was able to talk to her as an adult, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things you just can't express or say to someone who's not, and it's okay, and you have to keep it appropriate and obviously professional at all times. But I think it was when she was able to kind of express certain things and vice versa, and you know, and that goes to a lot of my clients who've grown up with while working with me. You know, I think things change and you just, oh, okay, you're a whole ass grown human now. So yeah.
Which is sick because you get to travel with them, so you want it to feel like family at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely.
So now that you guys have that rapport, you're like, cool, we get to travel.
Yeah, we get to travel together. We've seen and experienced a lot of beautiful things together, and you know, learned so much more about each other, and you know, and it's been a beautiful journey. And I don't want to work with people that I can't have that relationship with. In my team, with clients, with hair and makeup, like all of that, like it just has to feel like I'm not going to work, because it already is a stressful industry. It's like I don't need to feel like I don't like my coworkers too, you know?
That should be the easy
Obviously,
part.
we all get on each other's nerves at some point, and that's part of it, but it's all love, and I don't want to feel like, you know, like, it's coming in today, like, you know, like, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And I don't have that,
and
I'm super grateful.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have built a really great team, or you've built a great team, and then within each of those teams, you know, you have even better teams as well. Yeah. I was hoping that we could go through some of these photos that you've styled.
Absolutely.
Our most recent right here.
Yes.
Can you tell me some of the behind the scenes of this outfit? Because I can only imagine how stressed she must have been just as a woman wearing
She
this
actually
outfit.
was she actually was like, Enrique, I'm not worried about a slip, but I want to be respectful to the academy, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that's her main thing, and I'm worried about a slip. I was worried about something, so we used proper tape and everything, but she, you know, it was more so like our first time doing something this kind of revealing at all. You know, she's 23 this year, and this look, was on the Givenchy runway, look 47, and I saw it months and months ago in March, and I loved it, and I was like, I don't know where we can wear it to, but I'm gonna keep asking Givenchy for it, and once they come out, once they walk the runway, they go through like months of like, they do editorials, they do the campaign and everything like that, so you can't really get a hold of it right away. But after the Wednesday press tour, I asked one more time because they told me that she was going to be doing the Emmys, and I'm like, that would be great. And it would be great because I've shown the look to her before, and she's like, oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah. And I was like, I also didn't want to have her going into another 3-hour fitting, you know what I mean, for more looks. And I'm like, if I can just try this one look,
we know it's
and then I can let her have her time off. And they sent it to New York when we were doing the New York last New York premiere date, where she wore this like Gap Studio Zach Posen t-shirt dress.
I saw it. Loved
and
it.
That came in, and she tried it on, and it fit. And the thing is, like, you can't really modify something like that. It's like a totally couture piece that is, you can't do anything to it. So it fit her, and it was meant to be.
Yeah, I feel like every part of it was perfect. The hair, the makeup, obviously the outfit.
Shout out to the Givenchy team. They made her a custom skirt because she mentioned that she wanted something that felt a little bit more evening. The pants were really cool. But I felt like she wanted something more, a little more elevated for an evening event like the Emmys. And
I mean, I feel like it was perfect for the Emmys, and it was on every best dressed list.
Yeah, that was great to hear. That was great to hear. I think we never really try to do the best dressed thing. We do things that are interesting and exciting, and we have love for the art. And when it ends up on the best dressed, or people are excited about it, that's such an added plus, and it creatively fulfilling. So
I was obsessed. It made me so happy.
Yay. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, you root for your favorites, obviously, when you watch these award shows, and you want them to show out. You don't want to see them in the same thing every time, and you're like, oh yes, this is perfect. If she's gonna switch it up from Wednesday, then it's like that's the exact type of look you want to see her in. I was very happy with that one. Good, I love it. I see the smile on your face. Makes me happy too. What about this number?
Love that one too.
Everything about it.
Again, shout out to her hair and makeup, Melanie and Caesar, because this couldn't have lived the way it did without the glam. I think glam is such a huge part in translating a look like this. But again, there was a lot of talk with she and I, like, what are we gonna do? Again, we don't do things for shock value or for like to get best dressed. We want to do things that feel just naturally and organically what we're excited about. And this piece of art came into my eye line, and I was like, oh, this is great. I don't know if she's gonna be into it because it is. It's latex, it's not black, it's not dark, but again, it still had this gothic, feel to it, like, the frayed edges, and again, the kind of like the snake skinny latex. It just felt spooky or eerie in a way. And I was so happy when she glanced over and she was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, I don't know if she meant like, she's like, why did you bring that here? Or
you said, good what the fuck or bad what the fuck?
She said, what? Yeah, which one is it? Because we have
Yeah.
this thing, we're like, what the fuck is that? And it could mean, it usually means something bad. But
yeah.
she was like, no, it's actually, she's like, it's really cool. Like, she's like, I want to try that on. And it made me so happy.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, cool. Like, oh, I can see the tear on this one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's where it started tearing. I didn't realize. It's different. Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Well, it's latex. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it was tailored, so it was made really, tighter. And so by the time this is like halfway through the carpet. And yeah.
I can only imagine how sweaty she must have been in this too.
Yeah, actually, it started to. You can kind of see where it's like where it's starting to press to her skin because it was sweating, and it actually made it look cooler because it looked like there was like it looked like part of her skin, you know. So I was stressed AF because I'm like, I don't know what's gonna show or what's not, but it ended up looking, you know, I actually looked better.
Yeah, I feel like with Jenna, from what I've picked up on with her fashion, with your guys' work together, she's, like you said, she's not doing it for the wow factor. You guys aren't doing it for the wow factor, but she's willing to take that risk as well.
Yeah, she's a lover of art. Like, and I think I always respect that. And I love that she sometimes just steps into something for me and she's like, I understand what this piece means. And it's something that we should take advantage of and give it a platform, like something like this designer, Ashi Studio. He's like, you know, he's a newer emerging brand that, you know, that is super talented. And I'm glad we got to give him a spotlight. It's just great. Exactly. You know?
That's the important part.
But she, you know, she steps into art mode and she's like, all right, this is what this needs. And she's the perfect muse.
Have there ever been moments where you two have disagreed?
A lot of times. Yeah. I think, and that's what makes it right. I think we can disagree on so much and agree on so much at the same time. And I think if you have a collaborator in your circle that you can be honest with, I think it really makes it all the more, you know, genuine and organic. And I feel like I read a lot of comments, and I try not to read as many comments because people out there are ugly and nasty, and there's a lot of positive, but you always, you know, our brains go to the one,
of course,
negative thing that's said out of 30,000, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but a lot of the things that I was saying, like, these feel natural, you know what I mean? Like, they felt organic. They're like, yeah, I feel like she's like really like, you know, this doesn't feel like the clothes are wearing her, or it just feels like her, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's where we really did. And she's, you know, she's very vocal, and I love it. I get so excited when she's vocal, like, because she's showing her love of art the way I do, like, because I'm, you know, again, we want to give respect to the garment because these are pieces of art, you know, at the end of the day.
Absolutely. This one kind of reminds me of what you're wearing right now.
Yes, I'm like, love it. Yeah.
A little similar vibes right now, more Givenchy.
So that was the beginning of our Givenchy, like, relationship. They said yes to this look. I reached out to them and they said yes. And it can be an overwhelming garment. Like, the sleeves are huge. She has a very small frame.
Yeah.
And again, shout out to the tailors who did a lot of great work on this because they made the proportions right. Because, you know, the runway model is, you know, 5'9", 5'10", and for her to pull this off, and again, she understands how to move and whatnot. And
yeah, I feel like her posing is so sick every time. Like, she understands the assignment always.
Yeah, and so she basically that was kind of like the beginning of our relationship, because I think Givenchy saw that, oh, okay, she she looked great in our clothes. You know what I mean? And I think that's how we got to end up where we did with the Emmys with that look.
Absolutely.
You know?
That was so smart.
Sarah Burton is a genius. She is an icon. And it's been a blessing kind of working with she and their team. Yeah.
I've been loving seeing it so far, but this one.
Yay, I love
I
this
need
one
to
too.
hear
I forgot about her already.
everything about this one.
That's
how it
crazy.
came to be, everything.
This was such a piece of art, and I remember receiving the sketches and talking to Jenna about it, and she was this one stressed me out the most of all of these, I think, to be honest. She, Olivier at Beaumont sent the sketches over, and I was like, oh, these are amazing. All of them were amazing. And but there was this one that was made out of metal rulers, and she was like, Enrique, that is too on the nose. I just think that it's going to just look, I'm like, and to be fair, she's a visual person like me, like, but I can see the vision via sketches when I see like the material. And so she's like, I don't know about this, and she was taking a long time to get back to me on which sketch she wanted to go with, and I'll never do it again. I made the executive decision to go with this one, and I didn't know what it was gonna turn out with. I knew it was gonna be great. I just didn't know if, you know, how it was going to resonate with her.
Yeah.
And we saw it, and it was such a piece of art, and she was like,
she was happy with it.
Yeah. She was like, you're right. And again, it goes back to being collaborators and kind of trusting, you know, your team. And I think there's been so many times where I think something is right and she pushes back on it and she's like, no, and she's right, and it comes out exactly how it's supposed to be, and vice versa. She'll be like, Enrique, good call. Thank you for pushing that. Thank you for sticking to your guns. And I think we ultimately always respect each other, and we never want to do something that, you know, that
like offends the other person.
Offends the other one. And I felt very strongly about this, and I knew that if it didn't come out the way it was going to be, I knew that we would be okay with something else that Beaumont had. So I had that leg to stand on, but I will never do that again, because this is like the biggest carpet of the year. And
right, the Met Gala this year.
And we didn't get to actually see it until the day before. So.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
it was up until like an hour before they were still tailoring this, because it was still dragging on the floor. She couldn't walk.
Oh my god!
She couldn't
I'm
move.
getting chills.
Yeah,
hearing this.
It was stressful. I'm like, wait a minute.
You said, "Is this?"
I think we made the wrong decision.
No, and then the videos of her walking on the carpet.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Her poor legs were cut up.
So,
everything.
No.
She is. With this Givenchy look, she's like, Enrique, I love you, but can we please do something more practical next time, because it's just like that's heavy.
The Emmys.
That thing was digging into her poor collarbone.
That's the thing you don't realize.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know when I'm looking at it. I don't know if I like register how much it would weigh. You know,
it's like a good 20, 30 pounds at least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So imagine that, you know, on your
clavicle.
Bone, yeah. And you can't do anything. You can't.
Yeah, have there been moments?
She's married to the moment. She will be like, nah, it's fine. I'll shake it off. Just like that. Like that metal was cutting up her leg. She had like scratches for weeks.
Oh my god, I can only imagine. I mean, you see it. You see where there's slits, and obviously it's a ruler.
Yeah.
Like, it's a metal ruler.
Yeah.
But wow, I mean,
I love that look, because a lot of people didn't realize what it was until the next day or 2 or 3, and I'm like, and they were like, oh, it's about tailoring, but this is, to me, it's exactly that. This is tailored, made to measure at its finest, and like it has a cummerbund moment, like that was like kind of mimicked the suit. It had pinstripes in between there, and we had to go with a black queer designer too.
Exactly.
And Olivier was the perfect person to execute this, and he is a genius.
Yeah.
Like he is like, and a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul. Like we loved working with him, and can't wait to have more moments with him.
So you go with Jenna to the Met Gala for this look, and I'm assuming you're in the van right as you get up to the Met Gala. Do you get out and walk with her?
No, they won't let us go in. Like I don't have a ticket. Those tickets are like, I don't know, $250,000 or something crazy. But they I dropped her off. Like, or I had to pick her up and then drop her off, and then she walked. Yeah, I did. Thing was so heavy, and then I waited for her at the hotel, and picked her up back out of the Viano, and yeah. So she's walking around all. She had to stay there for 3 hours, I believe, and in this heavy ass dress.
Yeah. Like, there's no way she can sit in that.
Sit, go to the restroom.
Oh,
anything. I think they had a stool where she was able to like put between.
If she had to.
Between, there's a slit in the back, but there's not much movement. Yeah, she had to stand the whole time.
Oh.
So I feel her when she's like, Enrique, can we do something?
Yeah. You gotta switch it up. Look, we also have comfortable outfits on here.
Yes.
This is a good one. Oopsies.
I mean,
it's Vivienne Westwood, right? Yeah.
It's more comfortable. I think it's more, but that deep V.
It is deep, actually. Now that I'm looking at it again.
There's a lot of tape.
This
pins.
is very Wednesday.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Since we showed every other one on here, we have to show Willy Chavarria as well.
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to make sure we included, again, another Latino designer. And I saw that look. It was actually a couple of weeks before our fitting, because that showed in June, I believe, in Paris. Yeah, and I hit up his PR team. I was like, I need this look. We have a fitting in 2 weeks in Paris. I need this look. This is it. This is gonna be one of the ones that lands. I know it. It's totally her vibe, and yeah, it's just perfect. And it has a nod to like old 40s, Latina Pachuca vibes. Like it's perfect. And gray and the black was perfect for the Wednesday
press tour.
Yeah,
I loved everything about these looks. I chose definitely a lot of my favorites. But I feel like that was the hard part. I mean, there were so many to choose from.
Yeah, I know. And people ask me, what was your favorite look? And I think it changes every time. Yeah. Because again, it was such a whirlwind of a tour. I don't remember. It just makes me. They're all favorites for a different reason.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna play one last game, which is Scroll and Tell, where I go to your Instagram, and then I'm gonna scroll on it without you seeing. And you tell me when to stop.
Okay.
And then you'll tell me the behind the scenes of that photo or video that you uploaded. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm scrolling.
Stop.
Okay, clicking. Ooh, we got Julia Butters.
Oh, nice. That was
this look.
That's Schiaparelli.
Uh-huh.
She mentioned to me that she really wanted to do Schiaparelli for one of the press tour looks, and I was like, I don't know if we'll be able to get that yet. You're still young, you know.
Very young.
And it's hard to like, with the fashion brands. But she ended up having an editorial, and they actually got back to me, and they said, yeah, we can approve this collection for an editorial. And she saw that look, and we pulled it out of the box on the day of the shoot, and she was like almost in tears, because she was like, oh my God, this is the actual, and it was the actual look that she sent me as a reference of what she wanted to do. So that was a very special moment. And actually, I didn't see that video. She has it on video when she unboxed it. And I gotta check that out. But yeah, cool. That was a special moment, because I think this is like our first runway look that she wore.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was an editorial, mind you, but still. and it was a beautiful shot. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, that's the thing with you is like you get to work with.
Yeah, and I care.
Yeah, you care obviously, and you get to work with them when they're so young.
Yeah.
So you build such a strong rapport with them over the years.
Yeah.
I'm curious about with you and Jenna in particular heading into award season. Do you plan on continuing with this Wednesday sort of a theme? I can imagine the answer based on the Emmys photo. Or do you think she's kind of over that type of a look? Or is that just her at this point?
I think it's a little bit of both,
Yeah.
to be honest. I think it's a little bit of her, and I think it's just a little bit what we're doing for, like, at the moment. I think I couldn't give you an answer. I think we don't really plan anything out. Like, even this tour, like, we didn't really even plan out what it was going to be until we were in the fitting, you know?
Yeah.
She gave me a couple sentences of what she wanted to do, and she wanted to feel more, you know, mature and, you know, elevated, but she still wanted it to be her, you know, in an expressive way to promote the show, obviously. But I don't know. I think when we get to that point, we'll know. And that's something that just kind of comes to us. And I think how we're both feeling about anything, like maybe that's a dead horse at this point, you know, like, I don't know. We had such a great run, and, you know, Paris Fashion Week.
They're still having.
Oh yeah, Paris Fashion Week is up in a couple weeks, and maybe there will be some inspiring looks and pieces, and, you know, Jonathan Anderson's going to be premiering his new collection at Dior, so that's exciting too. So I think we're just gonna kind of go with what feels right, and I think that's how you should be. You know, once you start thinking too much about it, it looks like you thought too much about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it becomes stressful in a different way because I think when we get into the fitting or we get into glam, we're doing things that she feels are her. And even sometimes I have ideas that aren't her vibe, just to, you know, because I'm excited about that idea, but then we still come back to what feels natural, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, or even if she's like, this is a beautiful dress or this is a beautiful idea, but I don't feel like me, like, it's no question. It's coming off. I'm not going to have you go out in something that doesn't feel
completely makes sense. Yeah.
Or something that even if it's not really her, like, she wouldn't naturally go out in, you know, a low-waisted skirt, but she understood what this is, you know, and it does still, you know, speak to the, like, dark vibe that she is naturally drawn to.
And
I think we both are. Like, I really love kind of like that. I've always kind of been into the dark side, not satanic, by the way, because people get out there and like, oh, she's a Satanist and he's probably promoting that.
God,
no,
yeah.
I definitely am not. But it's just, you know, there's a mysterious, you know,
it's just a
mystery
little goth,
to it. Yeah,
a
goth.
little emo.
Yeah,
like,
and it has nothing to do with the devil, you know.
Exactly.
I'm good. I grew up in a very religious household. My grandmother was not playing that, but
we had no choice.
Yeah. But even after that, I'm like, I'm just not interested in Satan at this point. Sorry. Sorry, guys. We aren't. So it's good.
No. What would you say has been the pinnacle of your career at this point?
In this industry, we have so many of them. Ups
They're constantly coming.
and very downs. Like you're like, oh, and sometimes you don't always have the best. Sometimes the look doesn't come out the way that you envisioned it to be, and those can feel creatively so low. Like you're like, oh my God, and people are talking about it. I don't know. I feel like every day that I get to do this and create a look or a moment or editorial, like those are such highs for me. Like I don't really compare them. I think one of them, just because I've always been a huge Carrie Bradshaw Sex and the City look this year, that was such a great moment for me because I'm such a fan and the whole fashion story of Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City, and that we were able to have that moment. And
that was massive.
Yeah, I totally will never forget that.
Yeah.
Like, it was the actual dress. And like,
does she register how big of a deal that is because she is younger?
Yes, she does. And I think, again, she even did that more for me. Like, that's how like special it is. Like,
yeah,
she would have been fine going out there in whatever, like a black simple dress, you know. She's, you know, very simple things, but she allowed me to kind of live my dream too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was more excited than how excited I was. But yeah, when she came out of the dressing room and it fit like a glove, that was just like, oh my God, this is meant to be. And it was like up to the last, it was an hour before we were supposed to leave that the dress came. So it was going to be something else, and it would have been whatever it was, but
that's just the life of a stylist at this point. Everything is always up until the very last minute. It was meant to be, and I was, that was not the pinnacle, but that was a very strong highlight in my career, at least this year. You know. But all of these things, like, I just love being able to create with my ultimate collaborator. It's been amazing to watch. I was gonna ask what you're looking forward to doing next, but I feel like just based on talking with you, you're always excited for everything that you get to do.
I am. It's just always, and I don't want to take on projects that I don't feel excited about. I know I get a lot of questions like, oh, like, who's your dream clients or that. I was like, I have her. I have them. Like, I just want to create, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone that I work with, I'm excited for them to have their moments, because again, creatively, we all have our highs and lows, and like, you can have a big movie come out and then the next week you don't have another movie coming out for 2 years, and it's like, that doesn't mean you're anything less, or you know, it's just your moment is your moment, and you're gonna have multiple of them, you know, like, so. And for me, like, same thing, like, I might not have a client who has a movie every month, so I might not work for a month. It's kind of scary, but it's like, it's part of the gig. But then when we do have a press tour or something coming out, then great, like, we have fun. So I don't fall into that. I think I have, but I try not to go in that world or worry about like what's next, because I think, what's that saying? Comparison is the
thief of joy.
Thief of joy. Yes,
Comparison
amen to that. Because I think it's easy, and I've done it, and I did it when I did fall into my little moment of like, oh, you're going on Instagram, you're seeing all these other stylists and people working and killing it, and I'm always a huge supporter. Like, I'm never a hater. Like, I've never been jealous of anyone in my life. But
Leo again.
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm jealous, like, I'm not happy for what I have. But but I think that it was hard. Like, wait, what am I doing wrong? Like, why am I not working with people too? Like, I was like, I'm, you know, so I would just, that's like one of the things that I've learned to like not do anymore, because I think a lot of people still do it, and I try to tell people, you know, when I come across it, like, don't.
Yeah. I think the come up is tough, but it's like, once you're there, it's been really cool to watch how you've worked with being there, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think it's good. I think it's important to say, like, I feel that same way too. Still, I can still feel that way, and it's just like pulling yourself out of that. Don't get, why not me? I think it needs to be more of like, my time is coming, and there's multiple times it's coming. It's just like, it's not just one big thing. Like, you can't do that to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
100%, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Enrique.
Yeah, no, thank you
so much
for
Jess.
Joining Thank you for having me. This has been great. Yeah.
No, I loved it. I loved walking through all the BTS and everything, just learning more about your job, your career, all of it. Appreciate you.
Yes, no, thank you. I really appreciate it.